What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the spot where we kick back and react to all kind of different things. Alright, so what we got going on today? We're about to get into more science videos. Kyle Hill, we're still on that channel. This is a recent one he dropped though, just a couple days ago. This one is the huge problem with ChatGPT, the AI chat program. So, sounds interesting. I know everybody's been buzzing about it. We've been in it doing people's homework and writing songs for people and doing pretty much anything you needed to do with great accuracy. So it'd be interesting to see what the bigger issue. I feel like the bigger issue is just making it too easy to impersonate somebody. But let's see what Kyle has to say about this. Let's go.
Go, a game about placing and capturing groups of black and white stones, is probably the world's oldest board game, and for thousands of years, humans have been the best at it. That streak ended abruptly in 2016 when a superhuman AI Go bot demolished the world champion. It was seen as a milestone in the kind of AI that you probably keep hearing about today. What you probably didn't hear about was that in the January of 2023, AI researchers allowed a human amateur, like you, to defeat the AI with a win rate of nearly 100%. Humans had retaken the title. But it wasn't cause for celebration. No, it was actually worrying news for all of us whose lives are increasingly suffused with artificial intelligence. Here's why.
Now entering the facility.
There are three main categories of artificial intelligence. The first is narrow AI, AI built to do one thing but do it really well, like fold proteins for researchers or tell you the weather. The next step up is general AI, or AGI, a general intelligence that, like you, can learn and solve a wide array of problems from math to art. The final form of AI is superintelligence, an information processing entity far beyond the capabilities of any human, in relation to you like you are in relation to an ant. Today, AI research is about here. A little bit better than narrow, but not quite general. No matter what anyone has told you, no one has general or even sentient AI.
Yeah, no one has that.
So while any of these systems may be superhuman in their abilities, for example, a narrow Go bot able to best the best human, we are still today very far away from sci-fi level AI.
Like so far away, my dude.
Yeah. By the way, how are you doing, Arya?
Just chillin', vibin', doing hot bot stuff.
Word. When Google DeepMind's AlphaGo AI beat world champion Lee Sedol 4-1 in 2016, the victory was so decisive that it contributed to Sedol's decision to retire. Artificial intelligence like he had faced was, quote, an entity that cannot be defeated. It was no doubt a milestone for narrow AI to beat the world's best player at the world's oldest board game. Today, Go AIs have competitive ELO rankings so much higher than the nearest human that a human facing them would be like a grandmaster playing a literal child. With these AI, the question of synthetic dominance of Go seems settled. So when a paper came out in early 2023 saying that researchers got an amateur Go player to beat one of these superhuman AI, it should have been much more newsworthy than it was, which is to say, not at all. Why? In the first few months of 2023, there was an explosion.
Why? It sounds like somebody was butthurt about the AI failing, like they didn't want the news to get out.
Of interest around large language models, specifically ChatGPT. There seemed to be a news story every day about the system helping students cheat on essays, or companies generate ideas, or going rogue in some weird way. This all drowned out the news that happened at the same time of a human finally besting the best AI Go bot named ChatGPT. But it shouldn't have been drowned out because the flaw that was discovered that allowed a human to beat this superhuman AI applies to all of today's most widely used AI systems, especially ChatGPT. And this fundamental problem that all but the most concerned scientists are currently ignoring is that we don't actually know how these systems work on the inside. Because that's how we design them.
But you know how I work, right?
Of course I know how you work, Arya. It's quantum supercomputing cooled with argan oil. That's the secret. Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark, award-winning science educator, and thick as a brick Ethan Hawke Kyle Hill. I research a lot of weird stuff on account. While you're surfing, protect your turf. Surfshark. So how was the best Go AI bot bested, and why is that important? Go is an ancient game where players take turns placing black and white stones on a board like this with interconnected spots that allow adjacent stones to become so-called groups. The player that has the most occupied area or captured groups of an opponent's stones at the end wins after all the stones are placed. Up until 2023, no human alive was better than the best AI at this. And then, researchers from MIT and UC Berkeley made a superhuman AI look like a toddler. What the researchers did, which they lay out in a full interactive website, it's awesome, all scientists should try this if they can, is first use computer programs to poke and probe for weaknesses in the CataGo bot. When they found some, they programmed their own adversary bot to start playing millions of games against the best Go AI in the world, using the techniques they identified. Here is one such game. As it progresses, see if you can identify the technique the Blackstone player, the adversary, is using against the Whitestone player, the superhuman AI.
I wouldn't know. I don't know this game like that, so I'm like, okay.
Notice anything? Watch again. Look closely. You can see that the adversary is trying to systematically surround the white player, a basic strategy, but in what the researchers describe as a, quote, double sandwich method, a surround of a surround, and so on. When the adversary does this, any good human player would easily see their groups of stones about to be taken and play accordingly, and yet the superhuman AI doesn't seem to care and makes a massive blunder. Chance of winning, 0%. The double sandwich technique was so successful, in fact, that it wasn't just winning, it was making it seem like the superhuman AI didn't actually understand what a group of stones was, a fundamental part of the game. Note here that the Go adversary bot wasn't playing better Go than the superhuman AI, it was simply taking advantage of a fundamental lack of understanding. That understanding being that groups of stones are groups of stones that need to be protected. However, the ultimate test would be using this exploit that the researchers found to get a human to beat the AI who beat the world champion so bad it ended that man's whole career. And so that's exactly what the researchers did. The amateur, actually one of the researchers, Kellen Pellerin, learned the sandwich technique and then implemented it against CataGo. And out of 15 games, Pellerin won 14 of them, a win rate of 93%. It did in fact appear that the milestone-making AI had no real conceptual understanding of the game that it was so dominant at. Trained on hundreds of millions of games, CataGo could recognize and take advantage of just about any move imaginable. But when faced with a strategy designed to test whether or not it truly understood the fundamental concept of groups, it failed almost entirely. The critical takeaway from this is not just that GoBots have hidden flaws, it's that we don't actually know how today's most widely used AI systems work, even the ones we thought were essentially solved. CataGo has the same base.
So I feel like my takeaway from that is that while the how would I word this? While the system is basically designed to play the game, like you say, it doesn't understand that it's playing a game. So I feel like it's a form of intelligence that's lacking self-aware and the ability to adjust, or as a lot of people will say, having a wider imagination to try to see what you normally wouldn't see there. So for all of its advances, it's still acting like a computer. It's not acting like anything more. I feel like if we ever get past that point, which some of us, me included, hope we don't, because self-aware computers, that could go really bad really easily. But I think that making them self-aware if possible at some point, would be something that would, or maybe the only thing that would alleviate that. Just be spitballing off the top of my head though.
Basic architecture and learning method as all the AI you keep hearing about, from Watson to ChatGPT, and they can do incredible things for sure. They can diagnose rare medical conditions in milliseconds better than any doctor. They can pass the bar exam better and faster than any lawyer. But no one has ever shown that these systems actually understand anything at a fundamental or conceptual level. They can write screenplays, but don't know that screens exist. They can play Go, the world's oldest board game, but don't know that boards are where you play that game. They can chat with you like a human, and they don't know what humans are, or that humans are people with thoughts and feelings and ethics, and they don't know the universe exists. This is the fundamental problem. How much of the world are we willing and racing to mold around these inscrutable systems that could have any number of double sandwich type exploits just waiting to happen? Right now, the intelligence these systems mimic is impressive, but now it's just that. Mimicry.
It's just that. Mimicry.
Very funny, Arya.
Pretty much. Basically, what it boils down to is that it's no different than any other computer program. It's just running off this programming. It's not doing anything more than what it's been designed to do. And that's the flaw, because that means it's still a system that can be exploited. A real AI system would be capable of, or I would say a more advanced AI system. I won't say if it's really anything, but a more advanced AI system, or at least the AI system that we imagine, would be one that would be able to put together critical thinking, complex thought, some level of self-awareness, being able to work their way through an unknown problem without additional programming as assistance. And it looks like we're just not there yet.
Where was that board, by the way?
What's a board? Deep learning systems like ChatGPT are using big data to approximate the world, not develop any understanding of it. And
Exactly.
Because of that, they can make mistakes that even a calculator wouldn't. They can be abused and have Achilles heels we won't expect. Right now, the solution to making these systems better is to just give them more data, rather than understand them from the ground up. This isn't systematic and doesn't add any more transparency or conceptual understanding to the AI themselves.
Nope.
For example, despite the enormous training set of text large language models get, AI still hallucinate incorrect information all the time because they don't know what they are saying. One large language model recently said that Elon Musk died in a car crash in 2018, even when nothing in its data said so, and massive amounts of data contradict the claim. This core problem could easily be a thermonuclear bomb of misinformation if these systems are fully integrated into our information ecosystem. You probably thought the Pope had serious drip. Nope, this viral image was made by AI. If these systems get slotted into society at large, we won't even know what specifically is going wrong if and when it does. Large language models are going to give people bad medical advice on Google. Combined with deepfakes, bad actors are going to create an exponentially expanding arsenal of propaganda and misinformation for almost no cost on social media. The fabric of democratic society is going to tear when it gets to the point where no one knows whether or not anything is real. Top AI researchers voice these concerns all the time, but it doesn't seem like anyone is listening. Oh, Kyle's back.
I'm listening, but yeah, the right people don't seem like they're listening. It's crazy, because it's like we've noticed throughout history we've jumped on using something that hasn't been perfected yet, and here we are about to do it again with this. And as you see, there's major flaws to it. And even without the flaws, I still don't like the idea of AI taking over everything. I don't like, it's like, as much as I love computers, I grew up a tech person. I love computers, but I've always had an issue with the idea of AI, because I feel like, for me, I feel like these things are tools for us to be able to do things we wouldn't be able to do without, I don't feel like we should be trying to make them self-aware on their own. I don't feel like we should be trying to build a world where we ourselves no longer have to think, because I feel like that's what the dream is for most people, especially like people in, power who are ignoring the warning signs, is that people want, or at least certain people want to get to a point where they no longer have to do anything. And we can rely on a system to take care of us. We don't have to worry about thinking, working, doing anything. You want to have AIs and robots and everything do everything. That's the dream goal. And we can live in a utopia if we have machines doing everything for us. The problem is trying to rush to that goal leaves a lot of potential holes that can make everything fall apart or just go in a very bad direction. And this is one of them. The issue with misinformation, the issue with the fact that as intelligent as it seems, it's still nothing more than just a program calculating information, and it's just doing it on a bigger scale. You're just pumping more information in it. And now we see the side effects of some of that is that now it's just giving out misinformation, even when there's nothing for it to go on that should push it in that direction. It's just doing it. So, yeah. Me personally, I've never used ChatGPT, and I never will. I'm just skeptical of relying too much, I'd rather, especially when I make other videos, like when I go on my TikTok and I do something a little bit more elaborate, and you got to write scripts for that kind of stuff. I would rather sit for a week and rack my brain to try and get a script right than to let an AI do it within minutes. I don't want to get to a point where I stop thinking for. That's how I feel.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
There it is. At this instant, big tech companies all over the world are essentially experimenting on hundreds of millions of people without proper consent, using systems they don't fully understand because they can't fully understand them. If it wasn't clear by now, this is the huge problem with the explosion of interest around these systems. We've been far too hasty in ascribing superhuman abilities to these machines, as one of the researchers put it, and this is going to inevitably lead to unforeseen consequences, be they social, political, economic, or ethical. Perhaps it is time to step back. Perhaps it is time to stop rushing headfirst into AI that are essentially alien to us. ChatGPT is the single fastest growing consumer application in human history, and we don't fully know how it works.
And that's a huge problem.
AI really...
That's a huge problem. It's like, how do we end up with a program that's alien to us that we created? I feel like that information, that fact is the most disturbing thing. I'd be more willing to accept that a freaking flying saucer came and dropped some equipment down and there was a program, an AI program that we're now messing with, that we shouldn't be messing with. That would bother me less than the fact that we ourselves created it and still don't know how it works. The fact that we did that, which means what else are we going to do without taking time to fully understand what we're doing, It's the reckless abandonment of trying to rush into the next big thing. And the idea surrounds it is like, well, if we don't do it, somebody else will. And we don't want to get beat, in the race to get this thing done. We want to be able to take credit for it. And they never think about the consequences. That's what makes the bigger issue.
Is the future? Is this how we want to get there? Until next time.
Couldn't you just show them my neural networks?
Well, yeah, but what have humans done for me lately?
Love the jokes.
Now exiting the facility.
Oh, I guess we're still here. Thank you so much to the very nerdy staff at the facility for the direct and substantial support in the creation of this here video. If you want to join the facility, if you want to drape on...
All right, well, thank you so much for all that info. And yeah, again, I'll say it one last time before signing off. I am completely against relying on AI. I think that computer systems, or at least the super advanced AI we're talking about, the basic stuff where, computers just learn how to do whatever task we program them to do, and we leave it at that, and we don't do anything more, that's great. I don't want us to continue pushing into advanced AI. I don't want computers to think for themselves. I don't want them to become self-aware. You know, that's the biggest fear in my mind. We keep pushing them until they become self-aware, and then now we got to worry about whether or not they're for us or against us. And I don't want to be at a state where I have to wait to see how machines feel about us, you know? That doesn't sound like a good scenario. So, yeah, that's me. Completely 100% against trying to perfect AI. Even if we get it right, it can still turn out very bad for it. But that's just my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts? Let me know. And also, you guys know what to do. Go down in the comments section, let me know what y'all thought about this whole video. And let me know what you'd like to see me react to next. Hit that like button before you go. Share this video with everyone you know. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Alright? So, till next time, take care of yourselves. And I'm out of here.